All right, y'all, let's get up. Come on, let's get up. Let's declare today is the day. In the mighty name of who but Jesus here. Yeah, this is for the faithful. Those that know they were chosen. They were chosen to what? Endure the hardships of life. They were chosen to endure the demonic influences. They were chosen to go what? To war against the evil at the highest of the highs. Come on, hear it, hear it, hear. See, we as people, we got to be careful, right? Parents, we are speaking to the parents. We have to be careful, parents, that we're not calling out other parents, right? For their lack of being good parents. And we do triple worse than them in here. Come on, this is for the parents, those that are women that's really able to be honest before you gonna point at what somebody else is or what somebody ain't. This is for the parents that's ready to stand up and point in the mirror, able to look at themselves, to look at their children, to look at what they really are and what does that do to others. Those of them that are connected to them in here. Come on, again, let's get up. Let's get up. This is for the faithful. This is for the chosen. This is for the tribe. This is for the true. But this ain't for you. If you so selfish that it's all about you. If you so smart that you know everything that you should do. If you are better at speaking on others than you are dressing your issues and the issues that those that come from you, then this is not for you. But this is for everybody else. Everybody else that's seeking better. Anybody else that's desiring to be better. Anybody dealing with sickness. Anybody dealing with stress. Anybody dealing with the effects. Come on, I need you to hear the effects of stress. The effects of putting others first. The effects of speaking truth here. Come on, this is to them here, all the blessings that we all desire can't ever fully be blessings until we deal with the what? The brokenness in you. Ooh, this is for them here. Those of us here, ones that's calling him. Oh, God, make it better. Come on, God, bring us up out of this season here. More importantly, God, break them illegal alliances that are keeping us stuck, broken and banging for respect, that clearly cannot be what? Returning here. Yeah, so let's make sure that this is the day that we're going to make sure that we are honest about who we are here. See, me, I wear my emotions, right? Right in here, right in display. Why? So that they can see that it's God. See, that's the truth for me here. I know my limits. I know them people I came from. I know they won't right. I know that they struggle with a lot of things here. But to hear I'm just like them, it's not really hard to understand that there. If you and anybody who was around me long enough to know, they would know that this one is different in here. Oh, God, yeah, I thank you. I thank you, God. Sometimes I question you, God, that you didn't bring others like me around me here. Those that are truly honored in love. Those that truly honor you by what? Standing in the gap. Those that are truly standing in the gap for the people who won't stand in the gap, for the things that they're blaming you for the things that they took no responsibility for before it got out of control in here. See, I need you to hear whoever you are. ¿Cómo estás? Ooh, I need you to hear. It don't matter what the limits is that's amongst us in here. See, if we all could be honest and we all could change, then the world could change there. But if you can't be honest, that's probably because you have a lack of accountability in there. See, for you to speak on somebody else's trauma just makes it clear that the person can't actually be honest with you. From this day forward, that person can never, ever trust you with their most intimate issues here. Why? Because a selfish person isn't aware. They're not aware of self. Why? Because if they were aware of self, they would not be so selfish there. They would look at what they do, what they contributed to. What did they build on here? Did they stretch? Did they teach? Did they love? Or did they compound more stress and more stress and more stress and here? But this ain't for the ones that feel like, I've been in this season for far too long and no one understands, and understanding is something that don't come naturally to those that are around us in here. See, but this is for those that are here, not looking for validation in others, not looking for others to hear or understand them in them, but for them to be more aware with self. For one to be accountable, one has to be aware of self. See, I thank you, God, again. I thank you, Holy Spirit, and all of this is all of you in here. See, my truth is clear. Neurodivergent. Yeah, another one of them titles they just put on me in here, meaning I'm atypical, different, my body. We're not talking about deficit, but if we are honest, those that went to school with me early on in PS 191, I bet they understand now. Cognitive, this one was delayed. And because those around me were more prideful than they were aware. See, they didn't want a stigma of a child that had limits. Come on here. Now looking at that, I thank God that they didn't allow me to have limits. Why? Because I propelled beyond any limits that was in front of me in there. So I thank God, understanding my truth here, never knowing who and what, but I know it's him in there. See, I was born really early, premature, you gotta hear. See, everything about my life, I'm probably been early here and there. See, but this a change and a change of here. And these changes, they are bigger than this current situationship. I need you to hear. See, it's bigger than what they say. See, it's all about what they do in there. How many times they told us we were not good enough and they didn't choose to be with us here? How many times did they step out, go looking for love where? How many times they come back and pretend like nothing ever changed? But they make that about you in there. They make that about you there. Then they speak on these issues, pretending, come on, here. See, but when we tell the truth, we know this truth. Here. See, a neurodivergent, meaning my body, right? Here this here, transitional anatomy, meaning my body's not like yours in there. My organs not in the same spot. Yours may be. Come on in here, but this the truth that matters. See, this is where the chosen comes from here. See, God is not making us like others so that we could just pretend to be better than there. See, sometimes God will put you in a season. He may put you in a season, a decade longer in there where you're loving and giving love and it's never returning there. See, but truth and love, see, karma like that there. Whatever you give comes back, and that's the truth I needed here. I needed to see the lack of love, unconditional in me. And here I needed to see the selfishness so that I could see that that's not right in there. I needed to see those that took no accountability so that I own my issues there. I needed to surrender because I knew those that think they knew everything were just empty, blinded, leading others nowhere in here. See, I understood the truth, but now I see it here. See, the same ones that was pointing don't even want nothing to do with them little ones now. Look at there. See, if we looking at the facts remain in there. See, selfishness is not something that comes from nowhere. 9 times out of 10, the people you communicate with, those people are often limited, just like you in there. See, in the truth, children usually learn from 1 or 2 in here. Sometimes they learn from both. Other times it's 1 in there, the one that's more like them. But oftentimes we miss it there. See, neurodivergent, meaning my nerves on the left side were different than the nerves on the right side in here. And the nervousness, the energy, it's time for those that really know me to understand this there. See, I never like crowds. don't even like attention there. See, I never had anyone tell me I could do all things in there. See, I was one of them that was driven by what? Lack, you hear? See, lack of a presence of a father, lack of the love in there, lack of a understanding, lack of truth and honesty. I need you to hear. My lack of honesty came from a lack of identity, but many can't talk about truth. They rather get mad and point at issues that really are resulting in them there. See, what allows me to be around these people isn't because what's wrong with me in here. What allows me to be around with them is because of the things that these people did to make me believe in here. See, I never, ever want to come across as a person that is bigger or better than anyone in there. But the truth has to be told. See, to be chosen, you got to really be different in here. Where does your life look different? What exactly are we speaking on in here? See, this neurodivergent body. Yep, this transitional anatomy in here. It's certain things like it's called aplastic ribs, undeveloped ribs, meaning some of my organs are not shielded by the ribs that would be shielded there. See, come on, I need y'all to hear. See, because many speak but not speaking truth, so all they hear is lie after lie after lie and pretend they know in there. See, these issues I was born with, I thank God that it was not a product of my issues here. See, no sexually transmitted issues there, I thank God. I made these choices to put me first in here. I thank God that I'm living these issues, but they were not issues that I chose to have in here. See, the inflammation in my body didn't come from my body here. It came from a baby being born in a body that was not receptive of it there. So this body had to fight from the womb. In the womb fighting, early he was ejected prematurely here. Left isolated in equipment. What could that do to me in there? See, these connections that I lacked them. Why? Maybe it was because I'm just like them in there. Yeah. For me to be just like them would require that this is the choice I'm making here. See, but if we really speak truth, then we speak life. And life speaks love. And if it's not love, then what other than deception is that there? See, atypical. Why? Meaning I'm different there. Even the veins in my body don't look like yours in here. My mind, my body, my spirit is here. See, I can see the difference in me there, but others pretend they'll call it anything but different in there. See, God said peculiar, unique in all of it there. I'm going to do it in one, where? One that probably shouldn't even have made it here. See, I'm going to take one that they said would not make it more than a few weeks in here. Then they said he wouldn't make it a year, then he made it the year. Then they said he wouldn't make it to adulthood, now he's still living in here. 45 years, he still got all these pains and problems, but the truth is, he's still living in here. See, if we are honest and we know the truth is, the chosen is still living in there. They're not living according. You see, if we actually ever speak truth, if people could see the demon and the demonic forces in many in there, see, I could never be around a person and never care if they eat based off of how I feel in here. I could never pretend that just because my issues are, I'm so high-minded that I can pretend like that person ain't done everything for me and mine in here. I would never pretend and point and declare that it's anything about me that doesn't need to change in here. Why? Because the truth is we are all different. But far too many are just playing follow the leader in there. The kids are following the parents, and then look what happened in there. I used to warn the boys. Hey, y'all following that example. Then when y'all get old, them same examples that allowing y'all to be like that gonna turn their back and not wanting to do with you in here. Now these things are happening. We laughing and joking there. Ooh, but God said what? The truth gonna hit us there. See, everybody that's proclaiming all they want, they gonna get it in there. All of those desires, all those actions come on here. Everything that you promoting, you gonna wear it. Hear it here. You see, for me, it don't take long. It don't take long once the truth is here. Once I can see a person dictates how they treat me based off how they feel, it's easy for me to no longer to be connected there. See, the truth is the love is there. Where? It's where you are working to be better here. See, neurodivergent meaning I was different here, but no excuses, that was never allowed in here. See, if they really speak in truth, they understood it there. Even me walking, they would know, look, he walking. According to the doctors, he shouldn't be in there. Club-footed, yup, he's an athlete where? Ooh, look at that. His body, come on here. Compressed L, 4 and 3, 5'2", come on here. And this was all a part, his what? Atypical anatomy in there. His hip is connected to his back, too close to the spine in there. But the boy is still working. He became a man in there, and the man was still giving to them that didn't respect it in there. And now the man is lacking all, even healing here. His health, his mind is all in disarray. But what they do, they pointed and blamed him for their lack of accountability and access and truth here. Come on, we got to be honest, but we don't got to be. See, America, the truth is here. I know we can all see that change is here, but I know we all care to change who we are in that there. See, it's easy to point, but when will you point at you in there? When will you look at if all of them are afflicted by this, then it's time to stop pointing at others and instead look at yourself in here. Because if you can speak on another mother or father, then as an adult, then you should be self-aware. See, if you're not self-aware, then there's a problem, because that truth won't change you there. See, in and out of lacking, any season, hear it there. There's a truth, and if you telling it, then tell it till you hear. Tell it to you. In the mirror, I hear it there. See, all my questions I was asking God, he was waiting for me here. He was waiting for me to wake up and receive this truth in there. See, if you give in to them that don't love you, they can't ever return it there. See, they may have you because it's comfort. You bring comfort to it there, but they don't really desire you. They just needed you to help them get here. See, now they in the place, free from them burdens that they didn't want in here. Now they walk around pretending that it was something that you brought to this situation in here. See, atypical, I understood my limits here. You see, when we are honest and we understand, hey, this one wasn't crazy. And all the stress that he was screaming about, maybe we should have heard him here. Now, the thyroid, which controls emotion, is overworked in there. The prostate, too, look, inflamed, his whole body here. But what did we do? We chose to point when we should have addressed us. See, this word is for the parents. It's not for you to be a victim in a situationship that you created here. But it's time for the parents to be honest. Are those children that you don't like to be around just like you here? Could it be that what you don't like is what you fight so hard to allow around here? See, it's easy to point, but when we what? Become aware, then we ain't trying to offend. Instead, we realizing, how could we spend so much time talking about what she did to him as I overlook as to what I did to mine here? See, it's time for us to wake up. But that's a truth. That's a truth. We don't have to change in here. We don't gotta make the choice. We don't gotta be in here. But God said there's a change coming. Why? Because too many prideful walking around pretending as if the blessing was a burden. And if any woman or man tells you they've been tired of you, they've been tired of the burden that you are there, then it's time for you to look at yourself and realize, is this benefiting you? See, that's when it changed for me in here. I had to reevaluate things. I had to start with who created me in here. Then I went down to my children and, more importantly, what I chose to live with in here. As things begin to develop, I realized there was time for me to make this decision here. See, I will no longer be prison to my circumstances. I will no longer allow anybody else's limits to fool me there. Instead, I'm going to get up. I'm going to make a decision, a conscious decision in here. To be where I am now, in this place that we call his presence here. To reach up in this place, to trust him in there, to push beyond the limits. Oh, my generational curses. For me to put forth work, to really be the changer in this generation in here. For me to be the generational changer in my family in there. For me to be a better father. More importantly, there I had to be a better what? Son. See, that was where I was lacking, in the sonship. And it could be in the daughtership. Yep, because most of us are being what? Influenced by bad parents, bad examples, bad experiences. Why? Bad teachers lead to bad learners. Here, a bad learner leads to a bad example. A bad example leads to a bad product. A bad product is just a bad product that gets stuck in that place for far too long here. See, atypical. Yeah, neurodivergent. But I had no mentally limits. That's what they were saying, but now they could see this unusual amount of stress. See, the people that are the most connected to me, they don't want me to tell my truth because people would know theirs. The number one diagnosis that I got 10 years ago was unusual amounts of stress. Yeah. My body went into a state of alarm based off of unusual pressure, unusual stresses, and an unusual lack of gratefulness in everyone connected in here. But if we actually become honest about these actions in there, do we care to hear, or do we care for others to hear what's affecting us and only us in here? See, this is bigger than lack. This is bigger than fear. This is bigger than pride, bigger than your ego, bigger than your degree, bigger than your family, bigger than what you present as better in here. See, this is about change, and change is about changers, and change is about being whole here. See, it's in Christ, for Christ, with Christ, through Christ, where you truly can change it there. But if you're not honest and you're not aware and you have no ability to take action when it comes to areas of selfishness, rude, pridefulness, and you lack the discipline to deal with life issues, these issues that you created in there, then you're not desiring to be better. You're desiring to deceive others into investing into a one-sided investment in here. You see, the unusual amount of pressure wasn't because I was unusually avoiding my responsibilities. See, this unusual amount of pressure was becoming apparent that as sick as I was getting, the requirement was growing by the day. That's a truth that nobody had to honor for me. I had to honor this here. So then things in my family, I haven't spoken to some family members in months, weeks. I got a new number. Nobody even know. Why? Because I disconnected myself from everything. One-sided. If it was one-sided, it no longer was going to consume me. If it was one-sided, it was no longer to use me. If it was one-sided, it was never going to abuse me. If it was one-sided, it was never, ever, 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 ever going to ever again to try to fool me. Because it was one-sided in here. So those one-sided relationships, I chose to disembark, disconnect, denounce it here. So as I say goodbye, I'm making a decision that I am saying bye to everything that was no longer benefiting in my now here. Because if we don't address the now, then we will never get to then. Because far too many of us is stuck where we've been. See, I thank God when people tell me the truth, because now I can see it clearly. I wish I was like those that did this to me. I wish I was just as selfish as those that's connected to me. I wish I was as dishonest as those, right, that pretend to love me here. Why? Because if I was just like that, then I would be able to be just like them. You see? Atypical. So when you are questioning why God chooses who he chooses, don't. He knows you. He knows you even if you don't know you. He honors you even if you don't honor you. He loves you even if you don't love you. See, God created me in his image in here. And all my differences, it was one thing. I was not different than him. And because it was him that was in me, I was able to endure. Even for those that are ungrateful that I endured with them this long. Let that sit in. Because it was always greater than me. See, but in this season, I'm no longer stuck begging for people to see a value. I'm not stuck begging for you to understand it in here. I'm not stuck begging you to hear that you need to change in there. I'm saying I'm in agreement. If I never been in agreement to change, I am in agreement in here. God, you can change my location. You could change everybody around me. You could change everything, but don't change my relationship with you here. Don't change my relationship with you, God, because it's you that got me through it. See, I took accountability for things that didn't even have nothing to do with me. And part of it is why my body is actually under this type of pressure, because it was an unusual amount of pressure for one person to have to endure, especially pressures and decisions that really had nothing to do with me. The people that created these decisions, they don't even have the health issues that's going on in me. And that was because anybody could tell you in the last 2 years, there was no me without Vaughn and Fred. My two oldest kids, Bree and Cam, both have an issue. Why? Because there was no difference between them and Vaughn and Fred. Let's tell the truth, but we can't tell the truth, because what I realized after these 12 years of doing everything they needed is that they won't ever be able to see, because maybe they never saw an example of accountability, honesty, integrity, right? That look like them in here. You see, we can't keep getting caught up in emotionalism. See, the families are not falling apart because the white man. The families are falling apart because the people at home. We see it a lot. Let's open up social media. If people actually live what they live on social media in real life, people would never listen to those people. People would never look at them people the same again. The difference is the people around me are upset because I actually live it. I actually live who I am in real life. I actually share who I am in real life. I actually give. I actually love. I actually fight for the things that should be fought for. Atypical. Right? Atypical. And this message is to remind the atypical people, you are different. You are uniquely made, specific in him here. And you may have been in a season where you've been pushed to the limits. You have been neglected, used, abused, whatever you may call it. Overlooked, disregarded, whatever they choose to call it. But I need you to know that all that you did is for him. And because of that, all that he promised, you shall. You will not live like this. You will not die like this. But if you would make the decision to change, then it all would change for your good in here. See, this is to you, that atypical, the chosen one in you. It's time for you to awaken and arise and access all of the good in you. But today, ask yourself, what's stopping you? Who's stopping you? And are you allowing that to determine who you really are here? I need you to know that you are different. You've been set apart, atypical, neurodivergent for a reason. So get up and thank God for that and love here.